Last week, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni presented the supplementary budget. In it, he laid bare the state of South Africa's public finances, and the picture was not great. Firstly, economic growth is set to decline by a massive negative 7.2%. Now bear in mind that National Treasury's estimates of growth in the past have tended to be off by a margin of about 50%. So we may see economic growth contracting by up to 10% for 2020-2021. Compounding this problem is the extraordinarily high level of state expenditure. Government spending is set to skyrocket to 1.8 trillion rand in the financial year ahead, and revenues have also collapsed down to about 1.1 trillion rand. That leaves a giant gap of about 700 billion rand that the government somehow needs to fill. How is it proposing to do that? Well, through increased borrowing. South Africa's debt to GDP ratio is now set to balloon to an extraordinarily high 81%. So what are the next steps from here? Well, the first would be austerity, cutting state expenditure. We don't think that this is a viable option, primarily because it will represent a direct affront to the ANC's cadre deployment policy, which is essentially an elaborate network of patronage distribution. If you implement austerity, then cadres will directly suffer as a consequence, so there's going to be strong pushback against any reduction in the public sector wage bill, for example. The second option would be to increase taxes, as the finance minister has proposed he will be doing in the next budget, looking to increase taxes by about 40 billion or so. That's going to make hardly a dent in the 700 billion rand deficit and could also precipitate capital flight and restructuring of assets by particularly high net worth individuals. Really, the only option on the table, as far as we at the Centre for Risk Analysis see it, is deep and hard structural reform, primarily to labour policy, to the empowerment framework, as well as to state-owned enterprises. Unfortunately, the prospects for reform in these areas is rather low, and there is a direct relationship between the ideological position of the current government and their unwillingness to entertain the real hard structural reforms that are necessary for South Africa to grow and to prosper. If you'd like to find out more about South Africa's fiscal position and some of the macroeconomic risks that lie ahead for South Africa, please do get in touch with us. There are links in the description below where you can find out more information on our research and our reports. My name is David Ansara. Until we speak again, take care.